Happy Monday. Welcome back to another Ready List video. I'm going to keep this one super short. Going to go over some names that are showing relative strength that I really want to keep an eye on. Yeah, just my overall Ready List. Before I get started, I want to talk about two things that I've kind of came to the conclusion of while going through all my names. It was way harder to find good setups. There isn't really a whole lot. There's no fat pitch that I'm seeing at all really on my list, my watch list, my focus list. There's a few things that can stand out to me as far as from a relative strength aspect. Does that mean I'm going to trade them? No, but I'm definitely watching for setups on a few names that I'll go through really fast. And I'm seeing a lot of volatility and stuff, whether that's being around pivots or just in general on stocks. So without further ado, just going to go straight through my watch list. ARM, nice relative strength today, held the 20, starting to get pretty tight under this level. I will watch this one through the prior day high, but you know, it's like if the market continues to pull back, this thing continues to go sideways, that'd be super constructive. An inside day or two tomorrow would be super nice. But I will watch this over the prior day high, see if it can get going and push if the market wants to bounce a little bit. AVGO, a lot of the names in this group got hit pretty hard. I think this one actually held up pretty well compared to its group. It's still above its 20 day. It fell right into the left side peak if you flip to like a weekly chart, and it kind of found support there intraday, bounced. Not really something I think I'd take, but you know, because as it's kind of wedging, but something I want to just pay attention to. BE came into that support level, kind of held at the very like last hour of the day, as you can see. But you know, overall, just a name, looks like it's building a base. Lost the 20 day today, so not my favorite, but a rally back through that would be interesting. Maybe an inside day, just continue to build a base here would be super interesting, and definitely a leading name that I want to keep an eye on. CF, very possible higher low here as far as this spot. Right back through the 50, flip to like a weekly, big move up, gets its first pullback, and it starts to get tight. So I think this one definitely looks good through the prior day high. Could have some potential there. It is building some sort of a base, and it's kind of been building higher lows recently. So something I want to pay attention to. DOW is another name that's, you know, I think same group as far as chemicals, and you know, kind of held the 50, an outside bar. A nice reversal candle. Can it push through the prior day high? That'll be interesting. SOLS is another one kind of in that group with some sort of a base, but it's been, you know, breaks out, squats back in. Can it maybe build out a few days here and then push? We'll see. I think these names are definitely something to keep an eye on, but I'm not freaking out too much about them. DOCN starting to build a flag post earnings after that big gap up. I'm really paying attention to this left side peak. Like if the market wants to continue pulling back and this thing wants to, you know, pull right back into the peak, that's definitely a spot I'd look for to find support. And if not there, then maybe into this gap somewhere. That would be super interesting, but it's, you know, a leading stock I really want to keep an eye on. And yeah, it did get hit, you know, down 5% today, but it's something I just want to continue to keep on the watch list. FIVN, sitting under the high volume close, technology name. Some of these names have been acting really well, which I will go over at the very end. But an inside day today, still below the high volume close after the highest volume ever. Not something I'm super like fond of. Like I really don't care too much about this name, but through the prior day high is something I'd pay attention to. Don't think I'd trade this. I just don't want to take on too many trades or too much size at all. I made one trade today, and that was on Tesla, and that started to work really well, and then it fully came back on me. Got stopped out for a small loss, but you know, my last few trades have really just been feedback that, you know, foot needs to stay off the gas, and tapping the brake a little bit, and just being super patient and not really trying to over trade or pack on too much size, and really just I think patience is very important right now. But there is some stuff that looks good, so I still want to track it and pay attention to it. But without further ado, we got FSLR. This group has been really nice with your end phase. Your end phase, not a bad inside day today after a big move up. SEDG, same thing. Inside day after a big move up, kind of came back to that pivot area and found support. So, you know, the group's acting fine. I mean, NXT is like so, you know, super volatile, man. I just don't really, I won't trade something like this, I don't think. I think the pullback into the base the day after earnings was, you could have found a spot with some super tight risk that was super interesting, and the tan got hit not too bad today, just almost like an inside day, but you know, I mean, it's been super strong. It's been a straight uptrend, so a new base being built here would be interesting, and to see ENPH and SCBG as well as FSLR maybe continue to build out sideways would be interesting. But I like the inside day today. It's back above the 200, 6 days above it, pretty much starting to live above it. Interesting through the prior day high, something I'm paying attention to. We will have to see. GEV came into the earnings gap, found support at the end of the day. Maybe could get interesting for a higher low in this area, but I'd like to see a few more days of tightness, or just I want to see how it reacts in this area. Can these names actually bounce off their respected areas, or do they just want to continue going lower, continue building sideways, building new bases. I think there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't want to just sit and chop or find some super trash entry. HUT, this name, huge gap up on earnings. It's been one of the Bitcoin miners that's been holding up the best in my opinion, and I think this one looks pretty good. Came into the earnings candle low today, kind of just was living below it like all day, and then at the end of the day just came right into it and bonked its head. So continued digestion in something like this. I will watch this level for like a push right back through it, like in the morning or something, or like, you know, you kind of got the undercut today, but just continued undercut and then a push right through would be like a spot I would look for, like that undercut. You know, I mean, you could even mark this support. That's kind of where we bounced off of, but I think the earnings candle low is pretty important. So just a name I continue to watch. It looks like it's starting to build a base here. So that would be, I would love that. So it's something I would love to pay attention to and keep an eye on. Innodata, this name has been, you know, pretty nice since its gap up. It's starting to build some sort of like a flag here, however you want to draw this. I just want to wait for this action to get a little bit more constructive. Kind of came in like that Thursday's high and found resistance. So some sideways here, a pullback to the high volume close. Just a name I want to watch for continued sideways. I think this name is looking pretty decent. Microsoft somehow made the list. You know, I don't like the bottom pick stocks, but I won't lie. It looks like it's trying to build some sort of a cup with handle. I would like to see it back above the 200, but I don't mind the inside day today. I guess this just shows you that there's like not that many setups that I got a Microsoft on my list, but you know, the IGV I own, and it's been acting great, and rotation definitely has been going into these technology software related names. So Microsoft, I will, you know, this is the king, so I will continue to keep an eye on a name like Microsoft. You know, inside day through the prior day high would be interesting, or just a few more days of sideways. Who knows? Just something I want to keep an eye on. MXL, this looks like a very possible high tight flag. You get an inside day today, which I think is super interesting. And this is the first real sideways since the highest volume ever gap up. So something to definitely keep an eye on here, whether it pulls back to the pivot or it just continues building out this flag or it just pushes right out of it. This is definitely the criteria for a high tight flag, right? I guess this is like almost a little over a week of sideways. So, you know, I would like to see close to 2 weeks. So maybe some continuation in this flag would be nice. Don't think it's over just yet, but it's definitely a name I'm paying attention to. I think out of a lot of the, like you look at like an INTC kind of pulling back 20%, MXL, although INTC doesn't look bad and ARM still doesn't look too bad, but MXL barely been pulling back, and I mean, it definitely is building some sort of a flag. So definitely interesting. NBIS, just a name I'm just continuing to watch for pullbacks. Definitely got hit pretty hard today, but I'd like to add to the position if it can get back into the gap, or I just, a new base here would be great on a lot of these names, like a Rocket Lab, even like a new base would be awesome, and definitely something I'm keeping an eye on. CrowdStrike, a flag or a new base here would be, or just some sort of tight action sideways would be welcome. I would absolutely love that. What is the other names? DDOG, the same thing, right? You get an inside day today. Won't be something I'm buying as it's 11 ATRs almost from its 50 day. It's super extended. Can it go higher? Probably. Yes, and it probably will, but you know, not something I want to buy. But this group has been so strong. I think I got the ETF Cyber here on my list. Super strong action, right? You're back above the 200. You're super strong. Give us a setup. Go sideways. Get tight. And I will be so interested in this group. But I'm not going to be chasing. I don't think I'm missing out on really anything. Not owning these, but definitely something I want to continue to keep it on. Riot, and obviously, sorry, throw it back to that list. You got FTNT. We talked about CrowdStrike. You got Palo Alto Networks. Like the whole group just looks phenomenal, and they're making absolute massive moves. So, like I said, continue to keep an eye on these ones. Riot, you get your earnings gap up. I think this one is holding up pretty well. APLD got hit pretty hard today, and same thing with NBIS. I think Riot's been fine, and it's kind of coming into the support, the little support gap that it made on earnings. So definitely something that's, or actually this was not earnings, but this big gap up day. I forget what the news was, but you know, it's building a base, right? It's trying to build something right here. So let it build out. Maybe it comes all the way down to the bottom of the gap and fills the gap. Who knows? But it's just a name I'm keeping on. It's been holding up pretty well, so it's definitely interesting. And last but not least, Kathy's baby, or the absolute shittiest stock that I just for some reason want to own. You know, holds a 200 today, but it just got hammered. So it's hard to have this name on the list. Really, probably gonna get a lot of hate for having a name like this on the list, but. Few days of sideways would be interesting. It's sitting right below the 2021 peak, so you know, a day of sideways under it, then a push through or a push through tomorrow, who knows. Sitting on the 200-day, it's the first pullback after getting back above the 200. So I'm just interested. If it loses the 200, it's cut off my list until it gets back above it, and I'm not going to fight with it after that. And I will talk about a few extra setups that don't look too bad. ATEN, not bad, you know, inside day to day, building some sort of a little flat base or a nice little cut base, I guess. Could see a push out of on this name. Circle, I mean, I don't think it looks horrible. It's kind of pulling back on on low volume, but I mean, dude, you got crypto acting like shit, possibly sitting at support though. Who knows? These names need to bounce though. I don't want to be the first one at the party for stuff like this, but I mean, you know, I don't think it looks horrible yet. It's kind of back in the gap up, or in the gap from the gap up, so definitely something to keep an eye on. I don't think it's something I would trade. It's not something I would trade actually, but yeah, I just want to, we talked about Circle. Galaxy is another one. It's like, okay, you know, back at the 200, can it get going from here, or is it trying to build some sort of a new base? Definitely is interesting. Iron, another one that's gotten hit pretty hard in this group, but can it pull back to make, or can it continue pulling back to make a higher low, kind of like we did here, right? You get your original, a low, you know, a steep pullback here, just, you know, practically to the 20-day where it undercuts and rallies back through. Can we get that same kind of action here? Can we build out here? What can we do? It's a group to pay attention to as far as the WGMI. You know, just building a new base up here. I think it looks awesome. I think the XLP is, you know, I think this is your Costco's and something like this, right? Broke out of a big base. But, you know, XLP, you know, a nice day to day, and it's definitely acting really nice. Your sort of defensive names. IGV's been great, like we talked about. Cyber is another leading ETF recently, and then XLE, oil and gas names. I had a lot of oil and gas names on my watch list yesterday. XLE did great. Crude was okay. You got XOM was had a nice day today. CVX had a really nice day today. AESI, sort of a high type flag looking name, kind of broke out today. CVE, just a continuation higher. CVX, we talked about that one, not bad. IMO, not too bad out of the base. VAL, another one out of the base. RIG, out of the base, and VORR out of the base. There's so many more names that you can keep an eye on in that oil space. I don't think I'd trade any of these. A lot of these trade crappy or too thin or just extremely slow. So I'd rather sit on my hands, be patient, let the market pull back, know where my edge is, and yeah, that's about it. But I don't hate trading these type of names if that's what you like to do. But yeah, without, I mean, that's going to be it. I don't think I have too much to talk about besides that. I wish you all the best of luck in the rest of the week, and just don't overtrade. Don't give back profits if you made some profits off of the lows from April, right? Off the follow through day. Like, you should have owned stocks at least in, you know, a few days after follow through day or the follow through day, and you should have been trimming on the way up, and now you're sitting with some sort of profits. Trying not to give any of those back, even on new buys. Like, you want to keep size small, and you don't want to just buy every setup. Don't buy every setup. There's nothing that's really like that good right now. So I think that's definitely something to take from this video, is really that I scanned a lot of names and I really didn't find anything that stood out to me too much. But I appreciate you all for watching, and I will catch you in tomorrow's. Peace.